3 minutes.
And I thank the Speaker. Today I rise because today's budget is a budget that helps Americans' families. I rise today to support a budget that recognizes that the status quo is not only unacceptable to American families, but it's also unsustainable to the economy. This budget that's before us now will finally restore much-needed certainty to the economy, promote fairness, and provide those American families with the opportunity they are looking for to prosper. Importantly, this budget stops spending money that we simply do not have. And at the same time, it advances really what are common sense changes and proposals to strengthen our nation's safety net programs, and we do that for American families. So the path to prosperity takes us the first step, really, towards reversing the path to debt and decline, the ones that the President and his fellow Democrats have laid out for the American public. To say that President Obama and the Democrats over in the Senate, to say that they have failed to lead this nation in what is probably one of the most predictable economic crises in our nation's history, well, that would be a drastic understatement. Why is that? Well, on February 4th, the President's budget, it was due. On March 19th, the American people, well, they were still waiting. It was over 4 times in 5 years that this President has failed to, well, basically follow the law of the land and to submit a budget on time. It's interesting that the President's brackets, they're always on time. His budgets, not so much. The Senate Democrats, they're really not any better. It took them, well, almost 4 years to produce a budget that increases government spending by $265 billion, raises taxes on this country by almost $1 trillion, and at the same time of all that, it cuts health care providers by almost $300 billion. Over the period covered by the budget, deficits under the Senate plan, they're going to be nearly $4 trillion. Yes, $4 trillion larger than those under the House Republican budget that we're talking about right now. Look. Every family in the country, every family in America, they understand the necessity of having a balanced budget. The President, the Senate Democrats, could surely learn by going back to their districts and learning from the examples of American families across the country and how to set a budget. See, families, they don't have the luxury of waiting for the next election. They don't have the luxury, if you will, of going through yet another cycle. And quite frankly, as we stand here today in Washington, neither does Washington. So let's stop the spending insanity, if you will. Let's start putting the country back on track, and let's do this for the American family. And with that, I yield back.